So this video might not be as long as I wanted it to be because I didn't realise it was Wednesday until just now when I had lunch. I have, however, had time to make a list, so we should be fine, right? The question asked this week by our resident High Priestess Mel. So apparently in week 3 we're already so low on ideas we're going to steal lyrics from Busted. So Maddie, your idea was terrible. I'm joking. Probably the biggest and most obvious reason I go to university for is to learn. And I think that's something a lot of students forget what they're here for or under-prioritise. And not to get up on my high horse too much, but I think a lot of people would benefit from remembering why they're really there. I'm also here because I kind of want a job at the end of this, I suppose. Although some people do go out and get jobs after GCSEs or A-levels, that's high school for the American viewers. A lot of those jobs tend to be in shops and doing sort of... Although some have made it, I've got a friend that's in the WWE straight out of college, and I've got a friend that's now doing really well in insurance. On top of those, I wanted to gain independence. And university and higher education has this visage built around it where you go and you find yourself, which, as I said in a previous video, has actually happened, so it's not even a lie. I think you gain a lot of independence just by being away from home. Things you don't realise or appreciate that happen around your home and your parents suddenly become really difficult. Something I've also mentioned in a previous video. Even something as simple as eating dinner requires you to plan what you're going to have for dinner, to buy your food, to get your food back to your house, to cook it and prepare it safely. All of which require a surprising amount of thought and independence. Some people my age 21, 22, still go home all the time, speak to their parents all the time, and struggle to get a lot of things done. And I think that's where you really separate out those who are independent and those who are not. And while yes, I understand that it's difficult, a lot of people have the same problems you have. And some even have worse problems, imagine that. And they can cope by themselves. And yes, there's an argument that some people are just innately better at dealing with things by themselves. But there's nothing stopping you from strengthening yourself as a human being. And you're not going to do that if you keep doing what you're doing, just going home all the time. And not facing the problems that exist. And finally, the last reason why I'm here is to have fun. I've had such a fantastic time at university. It's not been perfect by any means. Not every day is full of rainbow farts. But in the grand scheme of everything, I've had so much fun. So yeah, fun. If there's one bit of advice I want you to take away from this is that you need to know what's going to happen when you leave university. I've always known that I want to be a teacher, that I want to be an educator, that I want to work with young people. But that's changed over the years. When I was going through my GCSEs, I was going to become an actor. I was like spot on for the performing arts. But as I grew up I saw the reality of that, the reality of spending £9,000 on a degree, or the sheer competitivism of drama schools, and then coming out of that and having to compete even more just for first jobs. I then moved on to Spanish, and then my life was dedicated to Spain and being Spanish. But then I got a D in college at Spanish and I decided that my vocation lay elsewhere. And at this time I was like, you know what would ever fail me? Rocks. Rocks are constant. And then I realised that if you're going to go into geology, you've got to go into oil and coal and gas. And that goes against me as a human being. So that's why I'm here on environmental science. Kind of like geology, but better for the planet. So if you're about to go to university or go in a couple of years, sit down and think. You don't need to know exactly where you're going to go and what the job is, what the salary is, this, that and the other. But just know what makes you happy. But also make sure you know the logistics of it. Know how many other people there are with a qualification. Know how likely you are to get a job. Know how well kind of the job is paid. And also decide if it's something you can see yourself doing as a person. I very much believe that for 95% of people to be fantastic at your degree, you've got to have that passion. And this brings me back to my 4 reasons for being at university. Just remember that you're going to learn if you're at university, so you might as well want to. Bear in mind what job you're going to get at the end of it. Make sure when you're here you gain independence. And finally, make sure that you enjoy it. Make sure that it's fun. Make sure that you don't end up spending 3 years of your life or 4 years of your life doing something that you absolutely hate. That's all from me. I'm going to edit this and run to the library and upload it before it's too late. Bye!